Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Audibly Fat. Once again, I'm back, chilling. Let me see. It looks like my wife is at dinner, so I got some time here. I'm home after work, just chilling. I just uploaded the first 2 episodes to Patreon. Have not uploaded to anything else. Just uploaded to Patreon, and so I figured I'd record another one. They didn't really have anything to talk about, but I figured, get to it, nothing to it, but to do it, I don't have to release this, but I probably will, because fuck it, because at the end of the day, what I really think about this podcast is if it doesn't mean anything else to anybody else, if no one pays, no one gives a shit, no one even listens, which is probably really likely, if no one's listening, then, I'll just treat it like a journal, and then when I die, inevitably young, of heart disease, or diabetes, or something ridiculous, my wife, or my kids can go back and listen to this, and I'll just record a couple a week, sit down for an hour and talk. I fucking ramble. I ramble all the time. I ramble to her. Don't keep a lot of friends. 2020 really wiped a lot of it out. But even before that, man, at some point, it's like I'm not a kid. I didn't have a lot of... And growing up, I was a polarizing person. In this meaning that you either really, really loved me and really liked me, or you really, really didn't. So until junior, senior year, or, sophomore year, the end of sophomore year when I got popular, I was knighted by the most popular kid in school, and I was made popular. But up until that point, I did it. I had close friends, and everybody else didn't really like me, for whatever reason. Who gives a shit? But so nowadays, I end up ranting and rambling, and there's no one to talk to. There really isn't. My brother lived with me for a few years, about 5 years. This round, he lived with me earlier in life when he was a kid, and my dad had kicked him out, and I was a young guy. I was 19, 20 years old, and I had my own house, and he lived with me, and I took care of him. I tried to take care of my little brother on my dad's side, but he ended up living with me again. I moved him out here to Colorado with me to make his life better, because he had nothing in the Bay. Nothing. I had nothing, and he had even less. So, got him out here, and when he lived with me, I used to rant to him, Sophie, can you get out of this room? Jesus Christ. Oh, this goddamn geriatric dog. My wife's geriatric dog. Her childhood dog. I think she got it in 8th grade. She's 14. This dog's 14 years old. She's in great shape. She's in fucking fantastic shape. But she just has this breath, this goddamn awful breath, and she gets to scratch. When a dog scratches, whatever, they lick themselves, but she chews aggressively, and it's like tick, 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 her teeth clicking, and then all of a sudden the air fills with her breath, and it's just, ugh. But you're a good girl. Other than that, you're good. She really is. How bad could a dog that can barely, can't run around anymore be? So anyway, so I ended up ranting and talking my wife's ear off, and she'll literally, last night, she literally was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And it was just, I was talking about the vaccine or Johnson & Johnson, just dropping fucking retarded anecdotes that don't mean anything, because I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a complete idiot. Yeah, I've never had a flu shot, but I'm an idiot. And I never had health care. I was homeless. I was fucking using drugs and doing stupid shit. So getting a flu shot wasn't ever a priority in my life. But so I carry that same energy nowadays. I've never had a flu shot. Why do I need the vaccine shot? The COVID vaccine. But let's just, I like to just think out loud. You know what I mean? I just like to think it out loud. I like to sometimes I learned in my life, I would say things. Usually I'm saying things to be funny, but sometimes I would just say things because I'm genuinely thinking out loud, and then my family or friends or whatever growing up, they just laugh at you or go, Jesus Christ, dude, are you that dumb? But it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm talking it out. No one ever told me. I'm walking it out. I don't fucking know. I mean, I really don't know. So yeah, I was rambling fucking about the vaccine and, why are there 6 of them or 8 of them or whatever the fuck, I don't fucking know. And my whole thing is I'm just so skeptical when it comes to the government, when it comes to any sort of authority. I don't like authority. I don't like any kind of authority. I don't like any kind of authority figure. And I sure as shit don't trust corporations. I don't trust, except for the one I work for. If anybody there is listening, hello. Other than that, I don't trust groups of people. When the groups of human beings get together, it's like there's there's just something going on. Like there's agendas. I think my wife might be home. So yeah, I just don't trust groups of people, and I don't trust corporations who they're not in the business of taking care of people. Like Johnson & Johnson, for example, is not in the business of taking care of people. It's not in the business of helping people. It never has been. It's in the business. Every business, from your local fucking ice cream shop to your local gas station, all the way up to a Fortune 500, or all the way up to, one of the biggest companies in the world. You know what I mean? Their only goal is for profit. Profit. So them getting a vaccine to the market as fast as possible in under a year, and I get it, the whole world's communicating their science, we've all pulled it all together. I've read the top comments on every fucking post on Reddit, the AstroTurfed website. I get it. I know the common sense, but none of us know. All these people are like, I have common sense. Like, well, was it common sense when the government was giving black syphilis? When they're going around fucking neutering people in the South? You know what I mean? When they're going, like, that was just using your common sense, because somebody with a suit came and spoke clearly and concisely and had an official paperwork. You go, oh, common sense is I should trust them, right? So my common sense says, yeah, I don't trust you. That's my common sense. My common sense is the world is full of people that'll lie and cheat and steal, and those are just the people. So when you get fucking groups, I'm skeptical. I'm just skeptical. I'm just inherently cynical and skeptical. And I'm also a retard. I'm also a retard. I'm also a fucking idiot. Like genuinely. I know this. I've been told this my whole life. I know this to be true. But I also know that most people are dumber than me. The older I get and the more I interact with people, now that I live in multiple states and I've been to multiple countries, most Americans are dumber than me. Which to me is like fucking just unbelievably fucking mind-boggling. Terrifying. Fucking truly terrifying, because they vote and they all own guns. And I deal with them in traffic, which is horrific. But no, so I just don't trust corporations. Inherently. I just don't. So when all these companies who, and everybody, and it's always sketchy when every single media outlet, every top comment, every single app, every single media outlet, every single voice, every single politician, all these things are on the same page. It's always like, all right, like when they're all uniformly like, yeah, and it's like, okay, all right, because there's always what they tell you, and then there's always the truth, and it takes time to come out. If anything, no one knew 9/11 was what it was in the year 2001 or even 2002. Really, it took time. It took distance. It took the ability to step away and actually investigate and get into things, because people don't inherently speak up front. They wait until time and they're not at risk, and then more information comes out as time heals all wounds. Like, this is a cliche. Like, time tells all. Time will tell. And a year into something, when they're just like, stick it in your ass, go to CVS, get it now, go to the fucking, come to Mile High Stadium and get your vaccine. This fin de semana, este sábado y domingo, Pepsi Center, esta vaccine, COVID-19. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, they're just, come and get it. And it's like, they were so quick to production because there's profit. And it's like, they're not in the, like, our healthcare system is not in the business of taking care of people. The government is not in the business of taking care of people. The shutdowns were not because they care. They're just not. Did it help? Who knows? Time will tell. Did it help? I mean, it's March 2021. I was for the shutdown. I was for the mask. I was the first one at my job to wear a mask. I was wearing a mask in February 2020. I was like, holy fuck. Like, China's full of shit. This shit's fucking real. The fact that there's anything, you see those fucking videos on YouTube of that bitch collapsed at the bus stop. Like, I was like, oh fuck. And then I'm looking at, dude, I was staring at death tolls every day for months. You know, I was like, it's coming. That fucking cruise. They parked that bitch in Oakland right outside my mom's office. Like, she's sending me pictures of that shit. And I'm like, oh, God, here it comes. This is the one. This is going to be the one. And, I mean, there's 500,000 dead people in this country alone. We're the most technologically advanced. I mean, unless you're talking about internet speeds, fucking cell phone data service. A million goddamn things we're terrible at, we're horrific at. But on paper, we're advertised as the most prolific, the most advanced, the most advanced and richest, society in human history. That's what we're advertised as. I know that's what Rome was advertised as, because it was, but that's what we're advertised as. And so, if for being what we are, for being the world's police since, the 1940s, you'd think that we'd have the infrastructure and the ability to just stop this. They could like, why couldn't they isolate this in Seattle? I mean, after they let 9/11 happen at like noon or 1 that day, when they're like, oh, it's done. Okay. All right. Now shut it down. Now they grounded every plane in the continental United States. They could have done that. They could have done that. And this fucking thing would never have gotten here. It would never have gotten here. But they fucking didn't. They didn't. They sold stocks. They sat on their ass. They chilled. Trump tweeted and ignored it. And we all know. They delayed. There was a delayed response. I don't give a fuck what side of the fence you lean on. There was a delayed response from our government. There was. I don't care. Look it up. Go by the days. It was coming. It was hitting China. It was getting fucking real. It hit Seattle. It was in Seattle. There were positive cases in Seattle, and they still didn't do anything. In Washington, they still didn't do anything. It took weeks. So that response, that was crucial time lost. And not only that, they didn't do a real shutdown. It was a fucking pantomime of a shutdown. It wasn't a fucking... I'm pretty sure the way China, I know they're full of shit and it's hard to prove anything they say. It really is. They're like North Korea with more money and better internet. But they shut cities the fuck down. 3 weeks, you can't leave your house. I don't care. No gas, no food. Fuck you. You're staying in that house. Figure it out. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down from what I can tell. And we didn't do that. We didn't fucking do that because I was at work. I was at work during the real shutdown in America when Colorado shut down. Colorado was one of the first, where we were in the top, third of the country, one of the first 20, 15, a dozen, 20 states to shut down. I know we were. And there were people on the road the next day, people out. Everyone had a fucking essential employee fucking paperwork from their job. My point is, it's not a political thing. That's all. That's the thing 2020 and COVID did. Everything you say now it puts you on the spectrum. Like, it's like, oh, he's all right. And it's just, I mean, if they wanted to stop this, they could have. That to me is common sense. If they wanted to stop this, they fucking could have, dude. They could have figured this the fuck out. They could have kept it the fuck at bay. They could have stopped it. But common sense tells me, my common sense is, and what I know about the world and the government and what I know about society and human nature is, if I was Trump or anybody who's in the powers that be, because it sure as shit isn't the fucking president, if I was anybody in there, and, in the war room, say, there's probably a couple dozen rooms of 10 rich people in this country at any given time trying to make decisions. It's probably like 8 to 15 rooms of 8 to 15 people who are stupid fucking rich, and they're all competing with each other to make decisions in this country behind each other's backs, Game of Thrones style. And we don't know who they are. We don't know what groups they are, what ties them together. Who the fuck knows? I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I know it sure shit wasn't Barry O. It wasn't Georgie B. It wasn't Ronald Reagan. It wasn't Billy Clinton. It wasn't Donald Trump. It's not. The last president we had that tried to make decisions on his own, independent of this cabal, they put in a fucking convertible and they paraded him through Dallas. So whoever is the decision maker in this place, if you're sitting there and you're stupid rich and you're stupid powerful and you've been worried about resources since the last 20 years, that's all they've worried about is resources. Resources. That's why all the land in Montana and Wyoming and Idaho is getting bought up. That's why all the fresh water was bought up 20 years ago. That's why these motherfuckers know it's resource time, bitch. It always has been, but now even more so. And so these people who know that, and who also know there's almost 9 goddamn billion of us, and I don't know how many Americans are, 330, 350, 400 million, something fucking stupid. Some of them got to go. If you want to keep these resources, if you want to keep the fucking tide at bay, some of these people got to go. You got to alleviate some of this pressure on this bubble, on this resource bubble before it pops. So, turns out this virus, or whether somebody bit a bat or somebody dropped something on their shoe and sneezed on the subway on the way home, or whether it was a fucking attack, whatever COVID is. Hi, Benji boy. Whatever COVID is. Sorry. Come here, dude. Come here, you little bastard. Come here, boy. Say hi. Say hi. This Benji. Yeah, there he is. Good point. Did you have a point about COVID? Right. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Damn, he makes a good point. You fucking son of a bitch. Did you learn that in jail? All right. He ran away. What was I saying? Who knows? COVID, whatever it is. If you're rich, I think that's what I was talking about. If you're rich and you're in control and you're worried about resources and trying to keep the population under control, as it gets bigger, it gets harder and harder. But then this thing comes along, whatever it is, it comes along, and you're sitting there, and they go, sir, this shit seems legit. Information's shaky coming out of China, but everything seems to lean towards this thing's actually deadly. But more than that, it's highly contagious, incredibly contagious, and deadly enough to worry about. And so you're sitting there, and you're like, well, do we know, what do we know? And it seems that elderly people are really affected, as they would be. They're immunocompromised. It's really People who are immunocompromised, it really takes them out. And then a warm, fuzzy feeling would come over your belly because you're like, oh shit. Well, delay that response. You would be like, Jones, thanks for the information. Have a good night. And then you'd fucking make a conference call to one of your buddies and be like, you hear about this COVID? They're telling me it's legit. And get this, Bob, it only gets the elderly. And I mean, these motherfuckers, they paid into Social Security. I get it. They paid into it. It's their money. But if you're looking at it from 30,000 feet, which these dudes do, human life does not have value. It doesn't. To us, it does. To me, it does. To my wife, it does. To you, it does. To most normal fucking people, it does. But these people, the 1%, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be, TPTB, the Illuminati, the Cabal, I don't care what name you want to call them, the boogeyman, the man. You know what I like? I like the old school one, the man. You know who the man is? The man does not value human life because there's a fuckload of it. And we breed like rabbits. And usually the dumber we are, the poorer we are, the less educated we are, the less self-reliant we are, the more we breed. Generally, from what I can tell, I don't see a lot of rich, really successful, well put together, well-rounded, well-educated, no signs of visible mental illness, competent, literate, and even-keeled people having gaggles of kids. They just don't. They fucking don't. They have two. You might get two. But the rest of us, we breed like rabbits. So if you're looking from 30,000 fucking feet, why the fuck? If you go on an airplane or go to the Space Needle or go to the Empire State Building, somewhere, something taller than the Space Needle. It's not that tall. And just look down, and those people are just dots. They're just dots, dude. And if someone told you, hey, you get rid of 10 of those dots and your kids will have food for the rest of their lives, would you do it? Yeah, of course you would. I would. What? But that's how they view us. We're all dots. We're really, human life does not have value to these people. To Bill Gates, to Jeff Bezos, to Elon Musk, to anybody who's that fucking rich. Like, you're pawns on a board. You're dots. You're nothing. You can move you around and I could easily get rid of you and you're easily replaced. Because that's how I would think when I was a chef. I would think that when I was a chef, there was two, usually one, maybe three people that you absolutely relied upon. 3 or 4. There's a handful of people you rely upon in a kitchen. And the rest of them, fucking bitch, if anyone who could fog a mirror can replace you. Anybody with a pulse can replace you. And if I looked at it that way, in an Italian restaurant that seats 175 people on a Friday night in May, yeah, they can think that anytime, any day from their perspective. So yeah, if you look at it, let it kill 500,000. Let it kill them. They're probably pissed. It only killed 500,000 of us. Truly. I mean, truly. They probably are like, God damn it. It's probably like, you remember when you were a kid and you set off a firework, or depending on what you did as a kid, maybe you didn't set off fireworks, maybe you took drugs or pills or I remember one time I took Molly with my friends. We all went to RN15, a bar in Sacramento, California. Me, a bunch of guys, bunch of gals. It was about 10 of us, and we all went, and I think six or so of us took Molly. And everyone was rolling but me. It's the only time in my life I've ever taken Molly. I didn't take Thizzles growing up. I didn't take Thiz pills. I can get my brother on here for the Thiz stories. He was taking Thiz pills at 13. I smoked PCP when I was 12. So drugs terrified the fuck out of me. They scared the shit out of me. But that's a story for another podcast, another episode, another day. But what my point was is sometimes when you take drugs, the time I took Molly, I got a dud. So you set off fireworks. You buy fucking $100 worth of fireworks. Some of them don't work. And you go, fuck, dude. We got some duds, man. That's some bullshit. That's probably what someone really powerful and really rich and really worried about resources, and not in this country, but because it's, they're globalist, the globalist agenda. Whoever. If I'm really powerful and rich, yeah, I'm like, God damn it, only 500,000? There's 400 million of them. Like, come on. So that's my point. I've kind of, my instincts tell me it had as much reach as it did in this country. Not by design. They didn't go, you know what? Implement COVID-19 in China. But at the same time, do you let it happen? Do you let it happen? Yeah. If I opened a taco spot, a Mexican restaurant, I'm selling quesadillas and ceviche and tortas and tostadas and sopapillas, and I'm fucking hitting it and I'm banging it. And then all of a sudden, another place opens down the street, and they're from Oaxaca. This family's just slinging that Oaxacan fire, and everyone forgets about me. And there I am, a couple years later. My wife can't look at me anymore. Benji, I've buried him in the backyard, just because I couldn't afford to feed him anymore. He had a heart attack from all the chili verde I was feeding him. And I'm sitting there, and I pull into work one morning, and I see smoke coming out of the back door, next to the outdoor walk-in, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, maybe my wife came in and she's cooking something up before she goes to work, or bringing it into work because that's part of her work. And I go, no, maybe it's Javier. He has a key. He would let himself in. Maybe he's making his kids breakfast, or maybe I left the fryer on. Yeah, maybe I left the fryer on and it's just ripping. It's sitting at 350, or maybe it's the hot fryer. Maybe it's the one we use for the tempura, and maybe it's sitting at 375, 380, and it sat there all night, and maybe it started to smoke. It started, the oil, the carcinogens in the oil, because, maybe Hunter closed last night and he didn't clean it, and all the flour and all the tempura batter at the bottom starting to burn and starting to smolder and blacken that oil, and then the oil's starting to smoke, and then the smoke sends off the Ansel system because the hoods are off. I turned the hoods off last night before I left. I remember that. I told Hunter to shut down that fryer, you cocksucker. And I left, and I know I turned the hoods off. I remember turning the hoods off, and the hoods are off. And maybe that oil is just some smoking and set the Ansel system off. And when the Ansel system went off, it hit the oil and started a fire. And maybe there's a fire. And then you see flames start licking out from under, from the top of the door. And then you see the black just start forming at the top of the door. And yeah, you let it burn because that restaurant's failing, and I'm going to get a divorce, and my life's falling apart, and my kids won't even look at me, and my community doesn't care about me anymore. And yeah, I would let it fucking burn. I would let it burn, and you would too. And if you don't, turn this the fuck off. Don't listen to me. If you would just go, oh, and then go save the restaurant, get $12,000 in damages. Your insurance doesn't want to pay for it. Now you're out of pocket. And then the landlord comes and raises your rent. And now you're going to go under for sure. And you know you only got about 6 months. And then you start bouncing paychecks. And people start realizing if they're not the first to the bank, their check isn't going to clear. Yeah, what did you save? What did you save? So if you're the powers that be, or the man, I like the man. If you're the man and you're looking at the party that is America, and you're going, oh, Jesus, they're running out of fruit punch. They're running out of booze. They're running out of food. This crowd's going to get unruly. And then you know that Lucy just walked in, and Lucy's got bad Coke. She's got bad Coke, and it's full of baby laxative. It's just full of baby laxative, and not even Novocaine. It's just, oh, God, she went to the dollar store and got some sort of like saw palmetto or some sort of organic fucking numbing agent, some sort of fucking tea leaf. She tried to crush it up in there, so it's got this kind of khaki tinge to it, and she's coming in with her Coke, and you know that at least a dozen people are going to go to that bathroom with her and do that Coke and get all, and fucking end up in the shitter, and they're going to have to leave. So you're going to let her come in, and you're going to let her fucking get half your party high, get them all fucked up, and they're going to get off the dance floor and stop drinking that punch and stop eating that fucking tuna tartare, and they're going to stop eating that fucking 7-layer dip, that 7-layer bean dip. They're going to stop eating it, and the party will go a couple extra hours. So that's what they're doing. They're letting it go. Keep it going. We got more money to milk out of this motherfucker. We have not established all the land. We have not gotten all the resources. There's still things to do. There's still things to do. We do not have rented techno cities. We do not have that implemented yet. We have not gotten rid of these legacy systems yet. We have not gotten rid of land ownership yet. Keep the party going. And you know what? My prediction is, I don't know if it's going to happen next month or next year or a couple years from now, but this is the new terrorism. When I was a kid, it was a war on drugs. And before that, I don't know what, the 90s was goddamn party. The war on drugs, but you going back, there's always been an invisible enemy. The commies, the Russians, there's just always an invisible enemy in this country. Drugs, terrorism. When I was a kid, it was drugs. Then it became terrorism. And most of it's us. Let's be honest. The FBI has not been in contact with a single terrorist in the last 20 years. They have not been in contact. Every single terrorist on American soil or American assets in the last 20 years has had an FBI agent's number in their fucking phone. They just have. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't know. But that invisible enemy, the boogeyman, that created a new industry, that created an entire industry of the TSA. Those people had a job for 20 years. You got some of them that are coming towards retirement because of 9/11 in a fucking fake job. What do? We already had air marshals. What do? I think they stopped a shoe bomber once, allegedly. But allegedly, they've never done shit but sit there and collect a fucking paycheck. Fucking hate the TSA and their dumb blue shirts. Ugh. But it created a whole industry. The NSA, and then the fucking tech boom. You use terrorism as a catalyst to fucking infiltrate all these tech companies. The CIA is tied to Twitter, Facebook, all of them. They all are. What? They have people working there openly. Yeah, they're all connected. So, and terrorism was an excuse for it. Oh, we need to know, what if they're terrorists? We need to be able to look into their conversations. And it just is what it is. And it created a whole new industry. And the grip around us got a little tighter than it's ever been. And now with COVID, what the fuck do we think's going to happen? This new invisible enemy, we're going to have to get a fucking special little ID or a stamp on your ID or passport saying you got the fucking shot at CVS. They might put the logo. They might put Johnson & Johnson, J&J, he got the Johnson & Johnson one, the one that's only 60% accurate or whatever the fuck it is. But but that's what it is. That's what I predict, is that we have a new invisible enemy. There's going to be multiple outbreaks over the next few years, and great, right? You know, that's the whole thing. It's just a story of my life. Right as I get my shit together, me and my wife, I've gotten a wife in the last 3 years. I've gotten married in the last 6 years since I got to Colorado. I've been getting my shit together, and the further I get down the, you know, the closer I get my shit together, the world just gets, you know, unravels and unravels and unravels, and everything, you know, it's just becoming worse and worse and worse. Like, I remember when Trump got elected, and there were people crying at my restaurant and shit. Fucking, and then COVID shuts the world down, and luckily I dodged that bullet in the restaurant industry. But it's just, and now me and my wife are thinking about buying a house, and it's also like, well, okay, how am I going to pay, you know, $500,000 off over the next 30 years? That's terrifying. And you're just trying to just bull into it, like, no, we're gonna do it. And I genuinely, instead of getting freaked out about one, I'm going, you know what? We're gonna buy fucking two. We're gonna buy one, and 2 years later we're gonna buy two, and we're gonna rent one out. I don't give a fuck, because that's the only way out of poverty in this country. And they're getting rid of that too. Stock market. It used to be stocks and real estate, and they're getting rid of both. We know what. They used GameStop and AMC as an excuse to get rid of that, and sure enough, they're going to tighten the strings on that. You'll never be able to trade, but as of right now, I can. I'm on Robinhood. Holler at me, to the moon, bitch. Yeah, fucking. As soon as Biden dropped those bombs, I had some Palantir. I sold it off to get into the AMC. As soon as we hit Syria, the very next business day, I was back in Palantir. And Raytheon. Yeah, bitch. The war machine's fired back up, baby. Trying to make some cash. Anyways, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be viruses, new invisible enemies, and them getting rid of, you know, just getting tighter and tighter. You know, rights losing. We're going to lose more and more rights. I mean, now there's a whole new industry of people that, you know, the COVID test, there's masks, sanitizer, all this fucking bullshit. It's all, you know, and it's just a whole new industry got created. You know, this is like, it's like reinventing the fucking car. You know, when 9/11 happened, it was a whole boom, you know, and all of a sudden there's not just like 7 3-letter agencies, there's like 30 that we know of, you know, in the name of security. So I can only imagine how many 3-letter agencies are going to make in wake of what they let the people do at the Capitol on January 6th. They let those people in. They let those LARPers in. They let the Q LARPers in. What they let Trump do on Twitter every day, they let him do that every day. So they knew when that motherfucker left office, the hammer would come down on social media all across all platforms. Now you can't say I've been on Reddit for 10 years, and I said something the other day, and it was like, yo, you say that again, you're getting banned. It was something innocuous. I can't even remember. Where's my phone? I deleted it, obviously. What the fuck did I say? God damn it. It was like, it was pertaining to the post too. Oh, cuck. I used the word cuck. And it was like, that's banned language because of the Trumpsters. And it's just like, dude, I'm trying to replace faggot. All right. I'm trying to get rid of fag. So I'm like, cuck. Cuck's got some bite to it, you know, and you should shame a cuck. But, Jesus. But, I mean, that's what it is Trump's the catalyst to fucking nerf the internet. Yeah, all these things are allowed to happen, and when they conveniently do, or they just coincidentally conveniently do, and then we happen to lose a ton of rights and rules get tighter, and now feelings are what drives the world. Feelings. And one of the best lessons I ever learned that got me out of depression and poverty and misery and complete self-hate and self-doubt and like the inability to get out of bed. I'm talking like when I lived in my car, when I lived in my Lincoln Town car, sometimes I would lay in it all day. That's how little I gave a fuck about myself in my life. I would lay there and dream of dying. And the only thing that got me out of not the only thing, but one of the main thoughts that got me out of it is there's a difference between what I think about any situation, about anything, any person, place, or thing. There's a difference between what you think about it and what you fucking feel about it. And most of the time, your feelings shouldn't dictate your actions, nor should they matter. And nor does anyone care. They don't. That lesson saved my life. And now, as I learn that lesson and bring it forward, and now I'm married and happy and genuinely enjoying true inner, like, spiritual success. I mean, genuinely I'm fulfilled in my life. Obviously I want more. I'm fucking ranting into a fucking microphone in a pod track. Obviously I want more. I don't want to work for the man. I work for the man, and I don't fit in. But, but the only thing that got me out of that, one of the main things, was the difference between what I think and what I feel. And here I am, finally getting some success, finally getting some momentum. I have a credit score. I have a driver's license. I didn't have a driver's license for 10 years. I didn't have a credit score. They ran my credit all through my 20s. It didn't exist. The guys people would tilt their head like a Labrador until I was 32 years old. Now you run my credit and you go, oh. Overnight, I went from none to good. And I didn't have a driver's license from 2010 till 2020. I just didn't. I did not drive. I lived in California, you fucking assholes. I drove, motherfucker. I drove across multiple states for a decade. And the day after I got my license, I got pulled over twice. But the day, I finally get my shit together in 2020 and the world falls apart. 2019, I finally get my shit together, really. In 2020, I really started to hit a stride, and then the world falls apart. And then now, in 2021, me and my wife are really, this was the year we're thinking, we can actually buy a house. And I'm like, all right, cool. And, I'm moving forward in life. And now it's just so weird that the main thing that drives, well, maybe not real life, because I work in the real world and it's definitely not feelings. But when it comes to youth, when it comes to young people, and definitely when it comes to the internet of any kind, it's feelings. It's all feeling driven. It's all feeling driven. And that's how most people think. Like, if you have conversations with, like, my wife's friends, like, you can easily hurt their feelings or offend them. It's fucking bizarre. Just based off, like, they'll be like, oh, my dad thinks he's a victim because he's old and white. And I'm like, oh, well, Facebook did that to, the old white people. It made them feel like victims. And she goes, well, she got really offended. My dad isn't on Facebook. What? No. Like, and it's just like, what? All right, my bad. Like, incorrect. But, she genuinely, people get offended over these things. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling. Benji, what do you got to say? That pretty much, Jesus Christ. He says what I said. What took me 43 minutes to say, Benji said in, 3 seconds? Anything else for the people before we go, Benji? This has been Audibly Fat. What do you got to say, buddy? We don't want to talk about that here. Like, no one wants, like, come on, dude. Nobody cares that she ate your asshole. Like, it's fun. Everybody loves a good rim job, but we don't, like, it's just, let's let people get introduced to you first. Let's let them get used to you. And then we can talk about what you're into sexually. Yeah, I know. Red Rocket. All right, y'all. This has been Audibly Fat, signing off. Hope you guys have a good night, good week, whatever. Subscribe to the Patreon. Hey, everybody is subscribed. Benji, he's fresh out of jail. He's talking about getting his asshole licked. Look, check out the tiers. We got the 3 tiers. Do you want to help? Do you want to help him buy his weed? He needs his weed or he'll fucking snap. He'll beat his wife. Or do you want to help him pay his landlord He's never paid his landlord. His landlord is real sick of his shit. His landlord is tired of it. He owes him thousands of dollars. So sign up for that if you just want to help out. In the top 2 tiers, you pay over $5. I'm gonna shout you out. You pay in either of the top 2 tiers, I'll shout you out, and tell me what you want to talk about. Let's chat. Give me a topic. What? Anything. As this goes on, you'll learn more about me. You'll learn more about my life. I won't just sit here and talk about my, COVID, because who gives a fuck? I mean, my wife's right. Who gives a shit? I mean, I'm fucking tired of it. She's right. I'm tired of it. I mean, I disabled it in September on my phone. I disabled anything on any app related to COVID-19 because I just don't. I know that's the definition of privilege, but guess what? So is the ability to read, the ability to hear my voice right now. You're probably privileged. So fuck you too. So yeah, I made the conscious decision as a privileged man to ignore it. Yeah. Because life hasn't offered me much blessings, and if that's one of them, I'm going to fucking take it. Because that one's free and harmless. It's a victimless crime to just ignore things. It is not my responsibility to bury my head in the sand when it came to this COVID shit. But yeah, my wife's right. So as we go forward, I'm not going to talk about COVID. I don't fucking care. And unless I get it, I'm not going to talk about it. So, but yeah, we'll talk about, I like sports. I'm a huge baseball fan. Baseball's coming back. Is anybody else excited for baseball? Baseball's coming back. And I don't like the fucking rules. Can I talk about the rules? Can we talk about the rules? I don't like it. I know the DH is gone for now. I know they want it. Fuck you. That's not baseball. I don't care. That's softball. It's Little League bullshit. But I'm pretty sure I gotta Google this. I'm pretty sure I heard the new rules from the MLB are they're gonna do that fucking runner on second for extra innings thing. Dude, I cannot explain to you how fucking unfathomable that is that they're doing that. I can't wrap my head around it. It blows me the fuck away, man. It's Little League, it's Bush League, it's hokey. I mean, how do you pay someone $40 million a year? Multiple people, there's a ton of people on that team making hundreds of millions of dollars. And you're going to be like, runner on second to start. Like, what? These are fucking grown athletes. These are grown fucking men. Let them figure it out. This pace of play bullshit, I'm just at this point, man, I don't even know what to do anymore. I hope this hasn't been really loud. I've been messing with the levels here over the last couple minutes because I think my headphones got turned all the way down because I could not hear, but then I turned my microphone all the way up, and I'm sorry about that. I hope it's been audio levels. I don't have a producer. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm throwing shit at a wall. I'm just rambling into a microphone. I went and bought. Yeah, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Yeah, it seems like I can really easily just throw out 45 minutes. Like, I could just throw out 45. I got that in me. I want to do longer episodes. I want to get people on here. Some of my friends, some people that have moved away and I haven't talked to. My friend George, we've talked about doing a podcast before for a long time. My friend Sev. I'm going to get people on here. Honestly, I haven't told anybody I'm doing this. I haven't told anybody other than my wife. No one, because I just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to tell anybody because my whole thing is I don't want to tell anybody. I have a tendency to quit things. I have a tendency to quit playing guitar. I have a tendency to quit trying. I have a tendency, when things get tough, I give up. It comes from my upbringing, I guess. I mean, doesn't everything? Yeah, I just have a tendency to give up on shit. When things got tough, no one ever pushed me as a kid. No one was ever, A, paying attention to me, or B, encouraging me. So I would just give up on things and move on. That's why I kind of know how to play guitar. I kind of am good at video games. I kind of played football. I kind of played baseball. Like, you know what I mean? I'm never committed to anything. And this is one thing I'm just going to commit to. I've talked about being a comedian since I was a little kid. I've talked about being funny since I was a little kid, making people laugh, doing stand-up, any of it. And I've just been such a fucking puss. And no one's ever pushed me. And that's no one's responsibility but mine to push myself. And this is something I'm just going to push. It just is what it is. And like, I think I said at the beginning of this, if no one ever listens to it, no one ever listens to it. And who gives a fuck? And then my kids will find it someday, and they're like, this fucking idiot made a Patreon, like, you know, and then they'll listen to it. And then that'll be that. And I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm even doing this until I have some momentum behind it. I don't want to tell anybody, hey, I'm doing a podcast, until I have some episodes up, you know, and they're like, oh shit, he is. And there's something they can listen to. Because other than that, it just seemed, you know, it just seems like a dream, you know, like a pipe dream. Everybody nowadays is a wantrepreneur. It's just a thing. I'm not trying to start a business. I'm not trying to get rich. I could give a fuck. But if say 5 years from now, I look on my Patreon and I make $3,000 a month and I'm able to pay my mortgage, what? Like, how fucking chill would that be? I'm not the most ambitious person in the world. For good or for better or for worse. I should be more, and I know kids are going to do that. I want to be a father. I'm excited to be a dad, but we got to buy a house first. And I know kids will push me to, you know, give you that, you know, motivation to just never stop something, to just never give up. Because right now I'm just like inherently lazy. I'm lazy. I'm fucking lazy. I'm lazy as fuck. The only thing I've ever thrown myself into and been good at and wasn't lazy at was cooking. I'm really good at it. I tried. I never gave up. But it's easy when you get paid to do something. When you get paid to do it, it's easy to give a shit. When it's like, oh, this pays my rent, I guess it's worth it to care. You know what I mean? Until you realize it's a fucking dog life and you're going to be a loser, psychopath, drug addict. And that's the only way you can have fun as a chef. Because it's thankless, fucked up work. Standing over a fucking hot grill or flat top or saute pan and fucking standing over fire for 12 goddamn hours. You know, the only thing you look forward to is the bowl that you're going to smoke in between waves of food. Oh, it's a miserable, you know, line to blow or Adderall you're going to take. It's just a fucking miserable goddamn existence. But the only thing I was ever good at, like, I'm fucking great at cooking. I can go into a kitchen right now and I can outcook a lot of my old cooks, my old sous chef, my brother, who's a bad motherfucker in a kitchen. I can keep up with him. I know I can. He knows I can. I think he'd even argue with you. I make as good a food as him, if not better. I think he would agree with that. And he has a healthy ego. I learned from a really, really, really high level cook. Terrible chef, terrible manager, but a fantastic cook. His food was just second to none, but a complete cunt. But yeah, he was my chef and I learned from him. But yeah, like my old sous chef, who's now the head chef of my old restaurant, can't cook to save his life when it compared to me. So yeah, what my point is I lied when I said I quit on everything. I usually do. I quit on cooking eventually, but after almost 10 years of genuine effort into that industry. And 5 real years of just balls to the wall cooking. Never taking time off, never taking vacation. 60 hours a week. Like, yeah. I got really good at cooking. And I am still a good cook, and I do love to cook. And I'm good at it, and I'm talented at it. And my whole line, I've told everybody forever, is I'm only good at 2 things, cooking and talking shit. I really am. I mean, those are the only 2 things I think I'm naturally talented at. Everything else was a struggle. And baseball, when I was a kid, I was really good at baseball. I was a prolific athlete as a child. I met Art Howe, Jason Giambi, Matt Stairs. I got invited to train at the A's facility when I was a kid. I won a competition in the Bay Area. I beat everybody in my age group. I don't want to hear it. I was invited to compete. I was brought by my grandfather, my elderly grandfather, who never played baseball, and my fucking idiot cousin, who was just there because he's a fucking coattail rider. My older cousin, and no one suggested to me, but when it came, I was doing everything good, and then when it came to hitting, they're like, hey, do you want us to pitch to you? I was the first one to go. No one went before me. Of all these kids throughout the fucking Northern California that got invited, no one hit before me. It was the very first one. They picked me, and the guy was like, it was Art Howe. I think it was Art Howe and whoever their pitching coach was at the time. But they asked me, and they go, do you want us to pitch to you or do you want to hit off the tee? And I'm like 10 years old. I haven't hit off the tee. I've never hit off a tee when I was a kid. Not once. Not fucking once. In my backyard I did. On a baseball on a bungee cord. And I was so scared. I'm in the A's stadium. I'm 10, 11 years old. I'm a little kid. I think I'm 10 years old because I'm in 5th grade. Yeah, with the house we live at, I can't be any older than 9 or 10. I can't be. I was a young kid. I think I was like barely 11 years old in 6th grade. So I was either 9 or 10 because it was 4th or 5th grade. Anyways, I'm in the A's stadium. I'm in a full-size baseball stadium. And they're throwing Major League Baseballs at us. Not, I don't know if they were soft or what, but I was like, T. Because I'm looking at baseball players. Major League Baseball players. So no one told me that they're not going to fucking throw as hard as they can overhand like they do on TV. No one told me that. No one told me that, hey, they're going to lob it to you. And I go up there and I hit off a fucking tee and I only hit one out of the goddamn infield. That was my shot. I'm looking at pictures in my man cave right now of the Giants, the Nasty Nine, Santiago Casilla and Javi Lopez and Jeremy Affeldt, Madison Bumgarner and Buster Posey and Tim Lincecum and Pablo Sandoval and Matt Cain, and Sergio Romo. I think I named all 9. If I left anybody out, I'm sorry. Let me see. Hold on. Casilla, Affeldt, Lopez, Romo, Cain, Lincecum, Bumgarner, Sandoval, Posey. That's 9. Yeah, fuck you. The Nasty Nine. I'm looking at pictures of all them. That could have been me. They're all my age. That's why I don't have any of their jerseys. I just have their pictures on the wall in all the newspapers. I don't have any of their names on my back because they're all younger than me or they're all my age. And I don't want to put a man's name on my back. That's my age. Willie Mays, I'll put him. Barry Bonds, those guys. Yeah, they'd sun me. But that could have been me. That could have been me. Anyways, I signed off, I think, about 15 minutes ago. Benji, what are you doing, boy? What are you doing? Okay, put the bong down. We get it. You got solventless. It's solventless Sunday. It was solventless Sunday the other day, and you went and got, what is this? Sunshine, organic slurry, live rosin, net weight 4 grams. You get a 4-gram bucket? Oh, no, this is 1 gram. I thought you got a bucket, boy. This is fat. Goddamn. This motherfucker smokes loud. He only dabs the fire of shit. He does not smoke solvents. He says if you smoke solvents, you're a cuck. You're a cuck bitch. You're a cuck pussy bitch. If you dab anything with propane or butane, you're a bitch. That's what Benji said. All right, we get it, dude. We get it. You don't gotta. They get it. They know they suck. You smoke the fire. You smoke the kill. You don't fuck with that boo-boo. I get it. You're the man. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to go light Benji's dab rig. All right, y'all. This has been Audibly Fat. I appreciate you listening. And you have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.